Ahead.
This severe weather is intensifying.
By knowing what's coming overhead. And we're Atlanta's traffic expert.
We've seen delays almost 30 minutes worth of
helps you get there on time, every time. 11 Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays.
First at 5, it is Election Day, and we've got you covered with live team coverage of the biggest races in Georgia and the nation.
Tracking Tropical Storm Nicole and some shifts in the forecast track. I'll explain how those shifts are impacting our rain and wind forecast.
All right, Chrissy, in a couple of minutes, new details tonight on how the city of Atlanta is honoring Migos rapper Takeoff and how you can pay respects this week.
11 Alive News at 5 p.m. starts now.
Only about 2 hours remain to cast your vote and make sure your voice is heard in this year's midterm elections.
And for the most part, it's been smooth sailing on Election Day, which has not been the norm in years past. The Secretary of State's office says the longest wait time today, just 10 minutes.
Let's talk about what we are watching tonight. The control of both chambers of Congress is at stake today. All 435 House seats and 35 of the 100 Senate seats are up for grabs. Republicans need net gains of just 1 seat to win the Senate and 5 seats to win the House. That's why there's so much national attention on Georgia's U.S. Senate race today. We're also keeping an eye on other key statewide races like the ones for governor and lieutenant governor. We have team coverage for you tonight. Latasha Gibbons in Fulton County to explain elections officials and why they're under scrutiny today, even with few problems reported. But we begin with Joe Hinkie live in Gwinnett County with more on those big races we are watching tonight. Joe?
Well, Jennifer, right now we're inside Voices of Faith Ministries here in Stone Mountain, a polling location here in Gwinnett County. The poll manager tells me they started the day with a line of voters at the door right at 7 a.m. They quickly cleared that line, and it's been very smooth ever since with no problems here at this polling location. We started the day following the candidates, though, for the governor and U.S. Senate race. It was a rather quiet day, though, out there on the campaign trail.
How you doing?
Governor Brian Kemp kicked off Election Day near Athens, heading to the polls with his wife and daughters.
It's been an honor serving as the governor and the first family, and we're very confident about today.
Democratic challenger Stacey Abrams cast her ballot during early voting. Her last public appearance came Saturday during a campaign rally.
We will have a governor, Stacey Abrams, who will invest in our children, invest in our teachers.
Kemp versus Abrams is, of course, the rematch of 2018. The difference, Kemp is now running as an incumbent governor.
A relatively popular governor nationally, and certainly in Georgia, his approval ratings are not underwater.
Bernard Fraga, political science associate professor at Emory University, says Abrams entered this race facing an uphill battle. Fraga does not believe early voting data shows turnout clearly favoring one candidate, but says there are certain voters Democrats wanted to see at the polls today.
We're not seeing the surge in early voting among voters of color, Georgians of color, or among young voters that I think Democrats were hoping would manifest given everything that happened with the Dobbs decision and just the general enthusiasm about some of these candidates who are running for office.
You all sound like you're ready to win an election.
In the U.S. Senate race, it is the Democrat Reverend Raphael Warnock as the incumbent against former football star and Republican Herschel Walker. This race so close, experts believe it could head to a runoff. While meeting with campaign volunteers this morning, Warnock said he's ready to battle through a runoff if needed, but he is confident he could win tonight.
The only poll that matters is the one we're going to see today. And let's see what the people of Georgia say.
Meanwhile, Walker, who held no campaign events today, says a runoff won't be necessary.
We're winning this. We ain't talking about no runoff. We're winning this. When we leave tomorrow night, we're leaving as winners.
Well, Senator Warnock and Herschel Walker both voted early for this election, so we didn't see either of them at a polling location today. Now, under Georgia law, any race where a candidate does not receive 50% of the vote plus 1 vote, it heads to a runoff under Georgia law. So the Senate race, it's going to depend on how many votes the Libertarian candidate, Chase Oliver, gets to see if that race goes to a runoff. If it does go to a runoff, we'll most likely see Walker and Warnock facing off again on December 6th. We'll send it back to you in studio.
Okay, Joe, thanks a lot. It's going to be a tight one, and voting is a right in Georgia, obviously, and millions are exercising that right tonight. We caught up with several voters all across Metro Atlanta today who say it's important that their voices are heard.
My kids were like, hey, do the absentee ballot or the early voting. And I was like, I just like going up there, in the fall and taking a vote. And I meet my neighbors out here too.
Easy breezy. It's always easy here. Everybody's pleasant and nice, and it's a very fast process.
Get out and vote. This is your opportunity to say what's important to you and where you want the country to go. And this is your opportunity to do that.
And a lot of people are doing just that. Let's check in now with Latasha Gibbons. She's live at CT Martin, a voting location there in southwest Atlanta. So, Latasha, Fulton County hasn't faced many problems today, right?
That's right, Ron. Just a few minor hiccups, most of which were quickly corrected. But the main thing I saw throughout the county was people showing up at the wrong polling location. In some cases, people moved and never found out their new precinct. Other cases, people were redistricted without knowing it. But here's what voters had to say about their overall experience today.
It was wonderful. I just try to vote for the right candidate.
And it was a great experience. In and out.
It was smooth sailing for most voters at the CT Martin Auditorium in southwest Atlanta.
The experience was good.
It was great, and honestly, because of the world that we're in right now, we need great leaders.
But there was an issue earlier in the day at the Chattahoochee Hills precinct. Fulton County elections officials confirm about 20 voters came to cast their ballots, but were told they were assigned to Cobb County.
The voters were not turned away. They were offered provisional ballots. We are still investigating that matter to see if it's an issue with the poll pad equipment, but it's under investigation. But there is a paper backup list that the poll manager is able to use and is utilizing at that site.
We also learned a mother and son were removed as poll workers in Johns Creek after another worker alerted officials to something the mother posted online.
They forwarded it to us. We sent that information to the Secretary of State's office to ask if this should be under investigation for concern. They looked at the social media posts and said they agree with the concern, and it's our decision to remove.
They didn't give further details, but said that investigation is ongoing. As for the voters we talked to today, they tell us women's rights, Medicaid, Medicare, education, and safety were among the top issues drawing them to the polls today.
If you don't cast your vote, you don't need to say nothing, because this is our opportunity to express how we feel and what we believe in.
My main reason for voting is because now that I'm a parent, there are a lot of issues amongst the kids that need to be resolved, like other things like food costs, gas.
And Fulton County elections officials are holding another press briefing tonight at 7. We'll bring you that live on our sister station on the WATL. Live in Fulton County, I'm Latasha Gibbons, 11 Alive News.
All right, Latasha, thank you so much. 2 voting precincts in Cobb County will stay open past 7 because of delays this morning. The Kennesaw 3A precinct at the Ben Robertson Community Center will be open until 7:45 p.m. And the Oregon 03 precinct at the Fair Oaks Community Center will be offering in-person voting until 7:06 p.m. Our Election Day coverage continues for you all night long. You can watch live results pour in on 11 Alive News Primetime. It starts at 7 p.m. right as the polls close over on our sister station, the ATL. NBC News will begin national coverage at 8 right here on 11 Alive. And then, of course, tune in to 11 Alive News at 11 for an extended look at our local races. NBC News picks up its coverage once again after that. We also have a full list of results, and we will continue to update it throughout the night from today's midterm elections. Just text the word results to that number on your screen. It's 404-885-7600. We will send a link directly to your phone, making it easy to track those results as they come in all night.
All new tonight, the numbers for the record-breaking $2 billion Powerball jackpot have finally been drawn, and there is a winner. And it's not me. Lottery officials say a single winning ticket was sold in California, ending a 3-month stretch of the jackpot rolling over and over and over again. The Lottery Association says last night's Powerball drawing was delayed until this morning because a participating lottery had issues processing those sales. So tickets worth $1 million were sold in 15 states, including right here in Georgia. 3 other Georgians won $50,000. So let's put up those numbers once again to see if you won, even if you got the smaller but hefty prize. So here's the numbers right now. They are 10, 33, 41, 47, 56, and the Powerball is 10. And it's a beautiful day in Georgia. Get out there and vote, folks. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb joining us right now. Chris, how's it going to feel this evening?
It's going to be great. We're going to see dry conditions out there tonight. Temperatures have been a little more comfortable today. We still made it up to 80 degrees, just not as hot as it was out there yesterday. And we have dry weather conditions right now. But our focus this week is going to be what's happening with Tropical Storm Nicole. Here you see the center of the circulation there, still east of the Bahamas, but it's already spreading a lot of rain in along the Florida coastline. You can check out now the hurricane warnings in effect for much of the Florida coastline. We even have a tropical storm warning extending north of Brunswick, and then north of that, a tropical storm watch in effect that goes up toward Savannah and even up toward the Charleston area. Here's the latest track that we have. The storm is getting stronger. We expect it to become a hurricane and then most likely making landfall here north of Miami, maybe near the Fort Walton, actually not Fort Walton Beach, but West Palm Beach area there. And then it's still curving up toward the north. This track is shifting a little bit to the west, which means that our impacts are going to be greater with a higher rain chance and also a higher wind risk during the day here on Friday. We'll talk more about that and some of those specific impacts in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. We'll see you in a little bit. An investigation is underway tonight as a family tells us 2 people were killed inside a home near Stone Mountain, but they don't think the victims were the intended targets. Bobeth Yates reports from the home near Old Street.
That's right, this quiet DeKalb neighborhood is shaken up after the home behind me is riddled with bullets, leaving behind death and destruction.
I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I do know that my 2 children are passed.
Valerie Jones says her worst nightmare became a reality Monday night around 9:30.
I'm in my bedroom looking at TV, and I hear bullets being riddled in the street. So therefore, I actually seen the lightning from the bullets. So therefore, I came out of my room, and that's when I found my children.
Jones says her 34-year-old son, Darius Wheelis, and her 36-year-old daughter, Danae Wheelis, were sitting in the living room watching TV when the shots rang out. Both were killed. DeKalb County Police confirmed they are investigating but would not provide any other details. But neighbors tell 11 Alive 2 cars pulled up to the home and opened fire dozens of rounds. Now Jones and her family are mourning and looking for answers.
I don't know if it was a drive-by by mistake. I don't know who did it. I don't know anything as of yet.
Now DeKalb Police is investigating, but no word yet on possible suspects. In the meantime, the family says they need help burying their loved ones, and they're asking anyone who wants to donate to their GoFundMe page. Bobeth Yates, 11 Alive News.
Developing this evening in Hall County, police say at least 1 person is dead following a shooting on Old Athens Road near Gainesville. The sheriff's office identifying the victim late this afternoon as 25-year-old Christopher Dixon. Video from the 11 Alive Sky Tracker shows a heavy police presence around the Harrison Square complex. The sheriff's office believed 2 suspects had barricaded themselves inside of an apartment there, but when they eventually went in, they were nowhere to be found. They're still looking for them tonight. Coming up, some of the biggest names in the music industry will be in town this week celebrating the life of Migos rapper Takeoff. How you can get free tickets to attend the service happening at State Farm Arena.
Plus, banding together how small business owners are trying to crack down on crime that's driving customers away from their neighborhood.
Delays almost 30 minutes worth of
Helps you get there on time, every time. 11 Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11 Alive News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11 Alive News app to use Near Me.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now...
Where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
And the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11 Alive can verify that claim is false.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. Where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11 Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11 Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11 Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across.
New details tonight about funeral arrangements for Migos rapper Takeoff. His celebration of life is happening this Friday at noon at State Farm Arena. Fans can get free tickets to the ceremony. They're available right now on Ticketmaster. You can get up to 2, and if you want to go, you're encouraged to arrive when those doors will open at 11 a.m. State Farm Arena will offer free parking for guests with tickets in the Ruby lot until the lot is full. We haven't had a confirmed list of the fellow artists who plan to attend, but we are expecting to see some of the biggest names in the industry there showing their support for Takeoff's family. Businesses along MLK Drive in southwest Atlanta say they are concerned about their future following an uptick in crime.
So now they are banding together, asking for help to protect their community. 11 Alive's Brittany Klein-Peters spoke with them today.
Businesses along the Martin Luther King Jr. Drive corridor tell me that recent crime is scaring away their customers and something needs to change.
This is the corridor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one of the most famous men in the history of this city. So we want to make sure that we preserve and protect that.
Following multiple shootings last month, including one where Atlanta police shot and killed a man who had allegedly opened fire on someone else, and another shooting where an innocent KFC worker was hurt in the crossfire of a gunfight, businesses say they need help getting people to dine and shop in the area.
We just want to make sure that our customers are safe. We don't want any problem with their vehicles when they park in our parking lot.
The MLK Business Association is pushing a public safety plan that would bring in off-duty officers to patrol the area. The problem is the organization says it would cost more than $350,000, which is why they're asking corporations like Chick-fil-A and Walmart, who have restaurants and stores in the area, to help.
I'm hoping and I'm praying that these people will all step up and do what is necessary and what's needed.
Some of the small business owners told us they cannot afford the plan on their own, but agree it's needed to improve conditions.
Increasing security up through the corridor will make everyone feel safer and create more opportunity for the businesses.
You have associations such as this to bridge it all together so we can have that sense of community where everyone can thrive.
Business owners tell me they are planning a march in the near future to raise awareness about their safety plan. Reporting in Northwest Atlanta, Brittany Klein-Peters, 11 Alive News.
We have new details out of Villa Rica tonight. Police said that their search for a murder suspect has now come to an end. 34-year-old Harold Dakers was wanted in connection with his ex-girlfriend's death Friday. Villa Rica police tell 11 Alive that the officer spotted him in a wooded area today, but he took his own life before they could arrest him. And a sentencing date has now been set for former Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill. Federal documents show that he's going to be sentenced on February 28th. A jury found Hill guilty last month on 6 federal abuse charges for ordering inmates to be held in restraint chairs for hours.
Tonight, Tesla is recalling more than 40,000 cars in the U.S. over possible power steering issues. The recall impacts 2017 to 2021 Model S and Model X vehicles. Tesla says drivers could experience a loss of power steering assist. That shouldn't affect your ability to control steering, but may require more effort than what's normal. The recall requires a software update that's pushed to the cars over the air, so double check that you have everything updated if you own one of these models.
It was another warm one out there today. We made it up to 80 degrees this afternoon, still a little bit lower than what we had yesterday when we had the record-breaking temperature of 83. We have moved down a degree right now. We're at 79, but still really warm in many areas. Look at Rome. You're at 82. Thomaston is also 82. Peachtree City is at 80. Elsewhere, we have a lot of those temperatures in the 70s. And remember, we're supposed to be in the mid and upper 60s for this time of year, so we're well above the average. Now, through the night, we will see mainly clear skies. This evening's going to be really comfortable. We'll be down to around 59 by 11 o'clock tonight, and then early tomorrow morning dropping down into the 40s. So it is going to be cooler, a cooler start early in the morning, right at about 47 degrees. Tomorrow we will see mostly sunny skies and not as warm. We're going to top off around 65 degrees. It's also going to be a little more breezy during the day tomorrow, thanks to that east wind that's going to be coming in here. We're talking about winds 10 to 20 miles an hour and even some higher gusts at times. So we're going to give that a 9 on the wazometer. Here's the latest we have on Tropical Storm Nicole. It is getting stronger. Maximum sustained winds now at 65 miles an hour, gusting to 75. We expect this to become a hurricane soon as it's moving over the Bahamas, and then potentially a landfall here north of Miami, most likely around the West Palm Beach or Vero Beach area. That's going to be late Wednesday night into early on Thursday. You can see the hurricane warnings in effect for much of the eastern coast of Florida. Then it moves toward the Gulf and takes this sharp turn, and by Friday, late Thursday night into early Friday morning, it's in South Georgia as a tropical storm. Now this track has shifted a little bit. If you'll recall, we were showing a little bit closer to the coast. Now it's shifting a little bit closer to us, which means our impacts are going to be higher. So as this storm moves through our area on Friday, that's when we're going to see most of those impacts. So let me walk you through the next couple of days here, where tonight we're going to be fine. Tomorrow's going to be a good day. But there's that easterly flow. We've got a big area of high pressure to the north, strong low pressure to the south, which is Nicole. And in between that, that's the pressure gradient that we're seeing there, causing the winds that we're going to have tomorrow. Then on Thursday, clouds are going to be increasing, and here comes that rain shield. Later in the day Thursday, we'll see our rain chances that are going to be going up. You can see again how that's all related to the storm that moves up toward the north. And then during the day on Friday, that's going to be the day when we see our best chance for rain and even some winds that could gust up to around 40 miles an hour at times. So breezy conditions here Wednesday, highs near 65, up to 70 Thursday with the rain chance coming in late. Windy, rainy on Friday with a high of 68, clearing out quickly Saturday. Then get ready to get cold. Lows near freezing Sunday and Monday morning with highs only in the lower 50s, and then a low rain chance coming in late on Tuesday afternoon.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. You know, there's a lot of folks out there who need support this holiday season, and you can help out by participating in our 40th 11 Alive Holiday Can-a-thon. You can start collecting those cans and non-perishables right now, and then you can join us on Friday, December 2nd, to drop them off. We're going to have 4 locations across the area. They're right there on your screen. For more information about how you can get involved, just head to 11alive.com/can-a-thon.
Election stress, like other stressors, have significant negative physical and emotional consequences.
Does voting day have you stressed out? Well, here's the good news. Experts say it's totally normal to feel that way. Coming up, we're going to share some tips to help you cope.
Almost 30 minutes worth of
Helps you get there on time, every time. 11 Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11 Live News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11 Alive News app to use Near Me.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now...
Where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
And the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11 Alive can verify that claim is false.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. Where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11 Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11 Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11 Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing in.
We could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and
how you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
Heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect at any moment a tornado warning could be issued.
The 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you'll be prepared and stay safe.
Well, if you haven't voted just yet, you have a little more than 90 minutes to cast your ballot.
Jerry Carnes walks you through what you can expect and what you need to make sure you take that. What you need to make sure that you take along with you when you head out to vote.
It is decision time.
We can't change what's in our past, but we certainly can change what we do from here forward.
More than 2 million people have voted early. For everyone else, it comes down to Election Day.
I try to vote on someone's character.
Before you head out to vote, make sure you're going to the right place. The Secretary of State's website has a My Voter page. Once you've entered your personal information, you can view your precinct card that will tell you exactly where you're supposed to vote. It will tell you if your registration has lapsed or if you're up to date. You can also view a sample ballot. Once you've arrived at your polling place, you'll need to show poll workers an ID. Among the acceptable forms of identification are a driver's license, a valid U.S. passport, a photo ID from the military or any government agency. If you have one, you can use an ID card issued by the state free of charge. If you registered by mail and didn't provide an ID at the time, you'll need to bring one to the polls along with a utility bill, bank statement, or another document that provides poll workers with proof of your current address.
Well, we all know that politics can bring stress and worry, from differing beliefs to long lines at the polls and concerns over the outcomes. But there are some ways to overcome those feelings. Signs of stress can include trouble sleeping, a loss of appetite, upset stomach, sweating, and excessive worry. Now, to move past those feelings, doctors say to avoid jumping to the worst-case scenario for your side.
Political ads are the epitome of this. It convinces us that if we vote for candidate X, disaster will happen. This seeps into our subconscious and replays over and over again. So stay in the present.
You should also focus on your routine. Healthy eating and getting enough sleep, that can help our bodies be ready for tomorrow, no matter what the results are. And doctors say to be mindful of when, where, and with whom you have those difficult political conversations. If you are finding yourself stressing out over differing opinions posted on social media or while watching those political ads, health experts say to go off the grid for maybe just a little while. It's one of Georgia's most watched races, and it could decide the balance of power in the Senate. Ahead at 5:30, we're taking a look at what changes when one party has numbers on their side.
And we hear a lot about RSV in kids, but can adults catch it as well? We're going to verify.
On the 11 Live News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11 Alive News app to use near me.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now...
where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk has now been upgraded to a...
and the only place where you can verify fact versus fiction.
11 Alive can verify that claim is false.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. where you end the day ready to take on tomorrow.
Weather can't run from the 11 Alive Thunder Truck. A mobile weather center with the power and speed to chase down the strongest storms and bring you on-the-ground conditions. The 11 Alive Thunder Truck, sponsored by Landmark Dodge. Fighting social inequality is on all of us. That's why 11 Alive is committed to sharing diverse perspectives, exposing injustice, and finding solutions. Voices for Equality, sponsored by Georgia Power and our other partners.
The 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you see weather happening now across Metro Atlanta.
These severe storms are now closing in.
We could be talking about damaging winds, hail, and
how you can plan ahead by knowing what's coming overhead.
Heavy storms are rolling in.
Expect pop-up thunderstorms and rain all day long.
And how you'll be weather ready wherever you are.
We expect at any moment a tornado warning could be issued.
The 11 Alive Storm Trackers. It's how you'll be prepared and stay safe. 11 Alive Morning News.
We began with breaking news this morning.
Is where you know what's happening now.
11 Alive is live on the scene.
Where you can confidently plan ahead.
This severe weather is intensifying.
By knowing what's coming overhead. And where Atlanta's traffic expert
We've seen delays almost 30 minutes worth of
helps you get there on time, every time. 11 Alive Morning News is where you start the day prepared. Watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m.
If you see breaking news or severe weather near you, snap it and share it using Near Me on the 11 Alive News app. Want to verify if something's true or false? Record your question and send it. Download the 11 Alive News app to use Near Me.
11 Alive News at 11 p.m. is where you find out what's happening now across Metro Atlanta.
We begin tonight with breaking news out of Cobb County, where a neighborhood is now
where you stay a step ahead of severe weather.
Our storm risk.
Well, happening right now, voters are casting those ballots in this historic midterm election.
Yeah, it's really busy out there. Polls are open for about another hour and a half. Here in Metro Atlanta, voters have only reported a few issues. This is really good. So Fulton County election officials tell 11 Alive about 20 voters who showed up at the Chattahoochee Hills location were told they were registered to vote in Cobb County. So they were offered provisional ballots. And officials also tell us that a mother and son were removed as poll workers in Johns Creek because something the woman allegedly posted on social media they considered to be a security breach. However, they are not offering any details about what happened there.
Developing in Hall County, police say at least one person